Mary used mud to mold a necklace for her mother. Then she blew gently on the mud. The mud instantly turned into a golden necklace. But the next second, a little girl suddenly snatched Mary's golden necklace. Mary tried to take the necklace back, so the two of them started arguing with each other. The scene quickly drew the attention of both sets of parents. The little girl immediately accused Mary of stealing her golden necklace, but Mary insisted that it was a necklace she had created with magic. Everyone thought Mary was just joking. Little did they know, Mary was actually the legendary Great Sorceress. This story actually began a few days earlier. Mary was originally the adopted daughter of a wealthy couple, but later, the rich man's wife, Anna, gave birth to her own biological daughter. Anna heartlessly abandoned Mary on the street. Mary fainted from hunger and collapsed on the ground. Meanwhile, in another world, the Great Sorceress was taking an exam in the magical realm. The test was to help an ordinary couple live a happy life, but the examination system suddenly malfunctioned. The sorceress didn't reincarnate as the couple's child, but instead was reborn into the orphan Mary's body. The Great Sorceress immediately became worried. She didn't even have parents now. What made her even more miserable was that this human body could actually feel hunger. The Great Sorceress had no choice but to use mud to mold herself a meat pie. It turned out she possessed a mysterious kind of magic. She could turn anything she molded from mud into something real. But just as Mary was about to cast her spell, a woman happened to come across Mary. She felt very puzzled. Why was Mary alone on the street? Mary calmly told the woman that she had been abandoned by her adoptive parents. The woman felt deep sympathy for Mary. She threw away the mud in Mary's hands and immediately decided to adopt her. The woman took Mary away with her, but didn't notice that the piece of mud had actually turned into a real meat pie. The woman brought Mary back to her home and happened to run into her husband and mother-in-law in the living room. She instantly felt a little guilty because her family was too poor. Her husband had become crippled from a work injury, and the family had lost its only source of income. It would be very difficult to raise a child, but the woman still wanted to try. She couldn't bear to see Mary die on the streets. Fortunately, both her husband and mother-in-law were kind people. They both agreed to take Mary in. To repay the woman's family, Mary secretly molded a little lamb out of mud. Mary softly cast her spell. The muddy lamb instantly turned into a big, fat sheep. Just then, the woman's family came back into the room. They were overjoyed to see the sheep. They hurried to catch it, but the lamb was too quick and agile. It quickly ran out of the house. The woman had no choice but to call the neighbors to help catch it. Soon after, to thank the neighbors for helping catch the sheep, the woman's family distributed lamb meat to the neighbors in their yard. Mary watched curiously from the side, but the next second, Mary suddenly spotted the rich man's wife, Anna. It turned out that Anna happened to be passing by. When she saw people giving out free lamb meat, she immediately ordered her daughter Susan to steal some. Clever Mary rushed to snatch the meat back, but to her surprise, Anna pushed Mary to the ground. Mary immediately shouted, "Catch the thief!" The woman and her husband quickly ran to Mary's side. When they saw that Mary had been bullied, they immediately told Anna to get out at once. To their surprise, Anna shamelessly refused. She mocked the woman's family for being too poor, saying that the sheep must have been stolen. At that moment, the mother-in-law came charging over with a broom. She kept chasing Anna away with the broom. Anna could only dodge awkwardly to avoid the blows. In the end, she hurriedly left with Susan. But Mary didn't intend to let Anna off so easily. She immediately cast a spell and summoned 20 bees. Then she gave the bees a mysterious command. At the same time, Anna returned home with Susan. She had a younger brother. Her brother wanted Anna to help him find a job. Anna immediately came up with a brilliant idea. It could both solve her brother's employment problem and also take revenge on the woman's family. Just as Anna was feeling proud of herself, a swarm of bees surrounded her. They began furiously stinging her and Susan. The next day, the woman took Mary to a factory. She was there to fill in for her husband at work. It turned out that in their world, when a husband was injured on the job, he could transfer his position to another family member. But unexpectedly, the factory's general manager rejected the woman's transfer request. While the woman was still confused, Anna walked into the office carrying a pile of expensive gifts. It turned out that Anna had bribed the general manager to have her brother take over the husband's job instead. Seeing Anna's smug smile, the woman was furious. She first told Mary to leave the office. Then she picked up Anna's expensive gifts and smashed them hard onto the floor. The woman fiercely declared that if the general manager didn't approve her transfer, she wouldn't mind killing herself right there. Anna thought the woman had gone crazy. She shouted insults, saying the woman was insane, but the woman didn't even look at Anna. She stubbornly stared at the general manager. The general manager was utterly helpless. Although he felt terrible about those ruined gifts, it was a critical time for the factory, and he couldn't risk a suicide happening now. He had no choice but to take the woman to complete the transfer process. Meanwhile, Mary and Susan were fighting over a golden necklace. Anna was the first to arrive at the scene. She shoved Mary to the ground and angrily accused her of being a thief. But the next second, the woman and her mother-in-law rushed to Mary's side. At that moment, they still didn't know that the great sorceress Mary was about to reveal her true identity.